From the Wisconsin Taxpayers Alliance, Friday, August 5th, 2011. A brief interview with Todd Berry, President. 3, 2, 1. The Wisconsin Taxpayers Alliance is combing through the new 2011 and 13 budget. What should taxpayers know about it now that it's law?
Well, it's an overwhelming document. It's over 500 pages long. I would say that the top things to know is that, of course, we were facing a big deficit going forward, over $3 billion. That didn't leave us with a lot of choices. Overall spending is up despite cuts, and the reason for that is simply we were replacing a lot of federal stimulus money with state taxes. In fact, we delayed the cuts for 2 years, but they now arrive. Pretty much everything that's major is being cut, with the exception of Medicaid, which is growing about 50%.
Now, you said spending is up. How can that be when there were so many cuts that we heard about?
There are two challenges we faced. First, we had a lot of IOUs, charge card bills due from the prior budget, and that required us to spend money. Second, the federal government had been backfilling for us quite a bit of what we spent on schools and Medicaid through federal stimulus dollars. So what we faced with any new money we were going to have is, first we had to pay off the IOUs from the last budget, and then pretty much everything else was used to backfill for federal stimulus dollars, particularly in Medicaid.
So how did the budget treat other spending on other programs?
Well, with Medicaid rising about 50%, all the other major programs were either frozen or cut.
Are there any tax cuts in the state budget?
There are a few, but they're pretty small, simply because the state didn't have any money, and most of those were enacted in January.
What does this budget mean for the future?
This is the one rainbow over all of this, and admittedly this was a very difficult and painful budget that left just about everybody unhappy. The one thing it does do is it puts away the charge card, if you will. We are not going to be carrying over what have been called structural deficits that we then have to fix in the next budget, which pretty much means we spend next year's money to solve last year's problems. There will be no structural deficit going into the next budget, and that means we can focus really for the first time in maybe 15 years on the future, and that raises questions like, how should we rethink school finance? What kind of major tax reform might we do? How should we redesign the university system so it is appropriately governed and financed? That was an issue that the legislature really didn't resolve in this budget. So there's a lot of things to think about going forward, and we just might have the opportunity to have some serious discussions about them.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. That's Todd Berry, President of the nonprofit, nonpartisan Wisconsin Taxpayers Alliance. For more information on what's inside the state budget, go to www.wistax.org. That's www.wistax.org.